Are you calling me a whore?
Welcome to the Beat Around the Bench podcast about woodworking, good times, and general jackassery. With your hosts, Jess of Jess Build It, Colton of Colt Crit, and Ross of RNC Woodworking and Designs. You can find us all on Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. In this week's episode, we're 2/3 of a menage a trois. Colton was hanging tough, like in Cliffhanger, on his roof. Jess plays hide and seek from Tampa, and Ross gets real nerdy about wood and whiskey. All of that and more is coming right up on this episode of the Beat Around the Bench podcast. Now for episode 110, Sycamore of a Down.
Wake up! Grab it and put a little makeup. Got it to the table.
So for those of you listening out there, unfortunately, Jess is tied up until the very wee hours this evening and won't be able to join us this week on the episode. So it is just Colton and I wrangling things for you guys.
Woo.
But hopefully we can hold down things for you. So to Jess out there, we hope everything is going well. I hope you're able to sleep at some point, and we'll catch up on some things when you're back. But to Colton, my friend, how you doing, man?
I'm doing great. I
want to hear about this roof project you've been doing.
Dude, yes. So we have the roof on the shop at the new place.
Hold on.
It is awesome.
You have the entire roof on?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Which
Well done.
Thank you. So as far as Colt Grit goes, next steps is now moving out the Prestonwood shop into our Huffman shop, our new house.
Okay.
And
how much? What's the size difference between the new shop versus your old shop?
So I think, so there is a garage, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's like technically a 2-car garage, but a little bit deeper.
At your new house or the old house?
Yes, at new house at Huffman. And also at Huffman, there's a pole barn behind that. It used to have like
I think you mean a pole dancing barn.
I mean, it could be. You don't mind some splinters on your coot, but yeah,
somebody's got to pay for these renovations, you know?
I don't know. Yeah. Teach their own. but yeah, which I got some plans for that. I'll get into that, but we just needed a structure. So the garage part, it's like a big square, right?
Okay.
It's similar square footage, except the Prestonwood shop was a 3-car garage.
Yeah.
And like normal depth.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was long, right? This one is, I think, about the same square footage, but square, which I really like. It'll give me more center space. I'd really like to do like an outfeed table on the table saw.
Yep.
And utilize some of these walls better.
Absolutely. Having been in your old shop, I can absolutely attest to you need to use the walls better.
Yeah. Yeah. And I haven't busted it out yet, but I do have wall control. They're at Workbench Con every year.
They sure were.
Yeah. So this last year, I won the Lego contest. Me and Mush both won it, and with that, I got a big discount, and so I got like an 8-foot setup with that, and I'm really excited to utilize that. I've been using like the little samples that they put in your Workbench Con thing.
Yeah.
But yeah. So combination of that and then maybe a French cleat part. But yeah, so this shop or the garage part of the shop, it has shingles on it that are older than me. Not really. I don't know how old they are, but they're older than dirt. Yeah, they're bad. And there had been a tree fall on it at one point. And so there was like a literal hole punched in part of it.
Oh.
And so we came in with the idea we were just gonna slap metal on top of this the
existing shingles.
Yeah. And
I advised against that, but Jess said there wasn't a problem.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I can't remember where we're at, but so ends up a lot of the plywood. We had to remove and replace about a quarter of the shingles and the plywood underneath.
Okay.
And yeah, we just came back in with some 1/2 inch and plywood and
Were
after we
the
tore it
were the
out.
trusses any worse for the wear because of the tree and I'm assuming some water damage?
So the rafters were good, surprisingly, even where
Okay.
the plywood was rotten, and all the joists, like the ceiling joist, the horizontal ones.
Yep.
There's two of them I need to scab onto,
Okay.
but overall it's good. We may need to down the road do another wall inside. So
Okay.
when the garage was built, the concrete in the floor of it was poured after, like
Okay.
down the road. So the walls, they're like 2x4 studs.
Mm-hmm.
They're touching dirt, right? I mean, there's a 2x4 below it, but if I were to insulate, I would be concerned that the insulation could wick up some water,
Mm-hmm.
and so we may be doing some sort of a wall inside that, like build that wall and then knock out the outside wall or something along those lines. But or I was also wondering, bring the insulation down, doing like batting insulation
Yeah.
and not insulating that bottom foot or 6 inches, like
You
just
could
to help
probably
prevent some
leave
of that wicking.
you could probably leave like a 3-inch gap at the bottom and it'll
Mhm.
take care of the majority of the insulation and heat rises. So as long as you cover up the top, you won't have as much of an issue.
Right.
So
And then also, once we really need to irrigate this land a lot better. Well, it's been raining on us almost every day for a few weeks. It's the last few days it's lightened up and it's just straight up heat.
that sounds
But
awful.
yeah, I mean, it's a lot better than trying to work outside around rain. I'll say
Yeah.
that.
Okay.
Um,
Especially on a metal roof.
yeah, exactly. So, but yeah, for the roof. So, yeah, we replaced the wood on about a quarter of it. We left the rest of the shingles. We put down tar paper over
Okay.
it, and then came in with 1x4s across the length of the roof. So
Horizontally.
it's yeah,
Okay.
like so it's 32 feet, right? And so we came in with 4 different points of 1x4s,
Okay.
and then you put metal on top of that, and you hit them into your 1x4s.
Okay.
But the way I acquired this metal was pretty cool.
Did you end up going now? Before Jess had said you could get the stuff at Home Depot, but don't do that because it was real flimsy. What did you end up doing?
We went to the materialist place,
Nice.
and it was awesome.
Did you have to do
And
some negotiations or whatever they call it?
see, mucho negocio. Yeah, well, you got me mixed up on it too. Yeah, well, whenever we were doing the bulk of it, they had a young guy, little Omar. He was there. He spoke English, so that wasn't very fun,
Hmm.
But I mean, he's still a cool guy. And however, whenever they delivered it to us for free,
That's awesome.
I mean, I still threw him a tip,
Yeah.
And in Spanish, I told him, like, I want to work with you. He looked really confused when I gave him the tip. I was like, this is para entregas, like for the delivery. And I
Yeah.
told him in Spanish, I really want to work with you a lot more. Corey and Larry are going to be building the house nearby. And so, yeah, we want to be doing that a lot more. But yeah, whenever they delivered, it was the owner and a helper. Omar wasn't there. And so I got the flex on the Spanish, and all of
Nice.
Crystal's family was here. And like, I didn't even realize it till later. They were like, "Oh, we heard you talking Spanish out there." I was like, "Yeah, you did." But enough. I was concerned. I'm not using Spanish every day anymore.
Like you had been. Yeah.
Yeah, and a lot of it stuck with me, and it was good.
Awesome.
But get this. So it was gonna cost us maybe 2,600
Okay.
to have everything from Lowe's. And that's not including screws, or not including
Okay.
the final screws, like the metal screws.
Yeah.
And we end up getting it for $1,450.
Oh.
And it's like a 44% savings and a lot thicker
Well
metal.
done. Well done.
Thank you.
And that's where it pays to look around and get another quote.
Yeah, hit up your materialist place. Yeah, and it's a lot. Yeah, so I think the Lowe's Home Depot stuff was like 29 gauge.
Okay.
And we ended up going with 26.
And
with,
just to confirm, so those that may or may not know already, those that are listening, the higher the number, the thinner the metal, correct?
Yeah. When it comes to gauges, with nails, screws, all that.
Okay.
but yeah, so I got thicker stuff, and the stuff's thick enough. I can walk all over it. The pitch
And it
was
doesn't
perfect.
flex.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you can feel a little bit through it, but honestly, there are a few parts I had to pull out the tin snips and get around, and
Mm-hmm.
they're a pain in the butt to cut with tin snips. Like, I really wish I had a battery orbital.
Sawzall or something. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, like, or not orbital. What am I saying?
Just the cutoff wheel. Like you'd have. Yeah.
Angle grinder. Yeah.
Yep.
Which I have one that plugs in, but there's not power to the shop yet. That's the next thing we got to do.
That's actually was going to be my next question. We'll get back to that, but let's finish talking about this roof here.
Yeah, yeah.
So how long did it take you to? Did you do it all yourself? How long did it take you to do all this?
I had Crystal's stepdad here for the bulk of it, and they
Larry?
were handy. You know, yeah, Larry,
Okay.
Capitan Larry. It was really good having him and Crystal's mom, Corey, here for like the little questions.
Mhm.
You're like, what do you think about this? You know, because they've put a lot of these roofs on, especially on like their the mobile
The
homes.
slumlord homes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and they so they were real helpful with that. I did most of the legwork.
Sure.
And then for the last part, I had Dylan back out here helping me.
Okay.
And yeah, and that last update I did on the Instagram, that was Dylan standing on the ladder.
Nice.
But it was cool. I got to where I could do it. I was doing it basically myself, and
Nice.
I was having them help me hand metal up, basically. But
sometimes that's all you need.
Yeah, and real easy going, man. Like once you get, I mean, I was hot and tired and sore every day. But oh yeah, how long it take? Sorry,
but truthfully
maybe
though,
2
like,
days, 3 days.
It takes the most time to get that first piece lined up perfectly, right?
Right, exactly.
And then from there, it's just rinse and repeat all the way across. It's super easy once you get the first one lined up.
Right. Oh yeah, one nugget on these two, like especially with the metal roof, but I assume it helped with the shingle roof too. Is I got those gloves, like the skin tight. Mine are Milwaukee ones with like that. Looks like they were dipped in rubber for like the palm and the fingers. Yep. I mean, I wore them out. I need to get a new set, but they were super helpful, especially when like shimmying and like doing sketchy, like crawl around on the metal. Like having that extra little grip, like really helped me.
That's awesome. And it's almost like wide receiver gloves in football.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Those cutters. That's what they call them, right?
Something like that.
I remember those. Those were almost cheating, man. They were sticky. But but yeah. So next up on the shop is we got to run power, which we had like the center point guy come out, and we're thinking about putting it in the other box.
Okay.
And
so putting in a whole new box just for the shop, basically.
Yeah. Yeah. Because it to run it from our current panel, I don't think we got a ton of space left on it, and it's a lot of underground wire from where it's at to the shop, and so we're able to come down. I think we're gonna have to add 1 or 2 poles, like small poles, and probably do it aerial, which is good for whenever we're trying to do the irrigation stuff later. We don't got to be dancing around wires.
Okay, I was gonna say if I had my druthers, I would bury it, at least bury a PVC pipe, and then you can, wire it however you want.
Yeah. Like, so the side I would want to bury it on would be the south side. However, we would have to encroach on our neighbors. They have a big privacy fence, and our driveway kind of butts right up to it. And the route I would want to go, it's either go on to neighbor's land or go under a driveway somehow, or tear up the driveway. And because I if I could have no wires hanging, like for if a tree falls or something, I would prefer that. But I think that's going to be the route, and it's going to be the most economical route, I believe.
Okay.
But we are looking at maybe a couple grand to get electricity out there.
Could you feasibly? Do you have a tractor, or does your neighbor have a tractor?
Corey and Larry have tractors.
Do they have a post hole digger attachment for their tractor?
Yeah. Like an auger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what you can do is get your own like power pole or telephone pole or whatever post you want it to be. You could just dig the footing, bury the new post, and then the power company can run everything pretty easily off of that. So
Yeah, that's a good point. I, I need to ask him because that had crossed my mind. I was wondering, like, could I just do this poll, or like, do they have to do it so it's regulation or whatever, or maybe
I
they just
mean,
inspect it later?
so
I
what you
mean,
could, I mean, look up what it would cost you to put in a power pole, even if it's a temporary power pole or whatever it is. But you can have one that like power can run, and you have to see like how many feet legally it can span.
I
Because
think
there,
60 foot is as
yeah,
far as you want to go
yeah.
without another pole,
So
like
probably
for the
put like
wattage that we're at. Yeah.
probably somewhere around like 50 feet. You mark it, you put in a new pole because it's no more than 100 feet, right, between your shop to where it's going.
Oh, I think it's like 130,
Okay, so
something
you
like
put
that.
in 2 or 3 poles, but if you can
Mhm.
borrow the auger and just mark where it needs to go, you can go to Harbor Freight and get the little, measuring tool and then just spray paint where you need to go. Make sure, obviously, you have uh, uh, the power company or whoever just mark whatever gas lines or anything that may be out there.
Oh yeah, call the dig number. Yeah,
Yeah, but you could rent the tractor and do that in like an afternoon. Just
yeah.
dig the
Or
holes, and
I mean,
then
also on that note, the Lowe's and Home Depot rent like a handheld auger.
yeah.
Like I don't think it would need to be on a tractor exactly.
Well,
It'd be a lot easier with a tractor, but
depending
yeah,
on how deep you need to go, you may want that. So up
that's
up
fair.
here in Chicagoland, we have to go a minimum of 4 feet down because that gets
The
below the
frost line,
frost
right?
line. Yep.
Yeah.
So it has to be like 3.5 feet is usually the frost line. So we have to go 4 feet down for anything that we dig. So whatever your measure, there are some places where you only need to go down a foot, but stability
Right.
wise, it's not going to be a bad idea to just like if you could literally have the attachment on the back of the tractor and mark out in a line where these things are going, just do the first one, drive straight, do the second one, drive straight, do the third one, and then you can see if your materialist place can get you three
Some poles. Yeah, I bet he
like
could.
20-foot poles. You can put all those up, and then you also have a spot, you could attach a brace like they would put for the power poles for telephone lines or power separation. You can put those up on each post, and then from there it's pretty easy to do whatever you want to do. You could run extra cat 5 cables or ethernet cables or internet or whatever you wanted to do, but you have everything done already.
Yeah. Heck yeah. Um, and so also for the rest of the space that we have, like the garage that we got going, it'll
Yeah.
hold everything, but I would like more space, right? More shop space.
Hmm.
So there's kind of two options I was looking at. One, there's already pretty good concrete in front of the shop or in front of this garage,
Okay.
right? And it's maybe 10 by 17 pads, and there's six of them. And one option is utilizing those for put a metal structure on top. And I mean, I'd like to take my shot at welding up myself, learning how to weld this aluminum and building that. And then also off the front of that, I would do just like a little carport, and that would be our new driveway. And I would gravel it out underneath
So
that.
are they in line, these 10 by 17 pads, or are
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
so there's 6 of them in line. So you have a 17-foot by
In line.
60
It's like a 2 by 3. So
2 by 3.
34 by like 40. There may be
Okay.
8. There may be 8.
Okay.
Yeah, 34 by
Um
40, I think is about it.
could you I don't know if it's on the cheaper side, still utilizing some of the metal roofing that you've done, put in almost like a covered porch kind of setup where it's like posts and then the metal roof on top of it. So like you timber frame essentially, so you have more shop space there. Or
Yeah.
would you rather just put up, an extension, if you will, on your
Um
shop?
well, if I build it looking at I don't know, I was considering it like a totally different structure. Just like aluminum poles, like a center arch
Yeah.
and cover it all in metal. right? And then insulate it, do like a spray foam insulation. Like, so it's just its own standalone like aluminum building.
You know what
Um,
so I know this sounds strange, but you should look and see if there are some of those uh you see them on farms all the time. They're basically like a stretched almost like canvas kind of a building that they have over like livestock pens
or like a
and
circus tent kind of
kind
thing.
of like a circus tent kind of setup. But like I've seen some of
Huh.
those where they don't cost a ton, but you can put them up pretty easy, and that way you have coverage from all the weather. But then on top of it, you also have extra storage. It's a ton of flexibility. You can move stuff out of there and have that be like a party facility if you guys are hosting a big party.
Yeah.
Um,
I
so
wonder how that would do with if you could insulate that though.
I mean, if you look at most of them that are on farms, they basically have big ass fans running in them,
Right.
and
Or
they
maybe like a
pull
drip
out any.
fan, like with like the whole cardboard on one side.
Yeah,
That is introducing humidity though, but
yeah, but like you could do
to
it
cool it down.
as you see a lot of them where they have livestock sitting in those. They have those massive fans on one end, just kind of pulling air out of it, and then they have what's the actual brand big ass fans up on top.
Yeah.
And if you can have probably two of those in there and then the big fans pulling out air and on one end, it moves a ton of air through there and it's not as hot as you think.
Yeah. They maybe get those big ass fans. They remind me of Final Destination. Like
Yeah.
I just see it coming
Yeah.
down, cutting someone. But no, that's a great idea. Okay, so that's idea one is like some sort of structure in front, utilizing that concrete that's already there.
Okay.
Idea two, which I'm kind of leaning towards now, is so that pole barn in the back.
Yeah.
It needs the metal roof replaced, and then the floor is mostly dirt right now. It did have that white gravel at one point. I think there's a lot of signs that there used to be a lot of welding that went on here
Mm-hmm.
a while back. Like there's like a metal pole racks, it looks
Yeah.
like, and like really good shelving in there. I can't wait to utilize it. And so my idea is to utilize that barn and so replace the roof on it. Yeah, right now there's like an ecosystem up there. Like on top of it hasn't been cleaned up. It's a really shallow pitch, right?
Okay.
And so I think enough leaves have, and then there's trees that overhang it. Enough leaves have gone and died on it. It's like there's plants growing in the roof.
Awesome.
And
so helpful.
yeah. Oh, I know. And so once I clear, so new roof and then pouring concrete underneath. And so on the front, there's two giant barn doors.
Mm-hmm.
And I know it's hard to seal. It's going to be hard to get a good seal on that. And so I was wondering, like, and it's butted up to, it shares a wall with the garage, right? So it's
Okay.
right behind the garage.
How far of a floor difference is there between the garage to the pole barn? So like
I don't think there's much at all. Like a height difference, I don't think there's much.
Okay.
So my idea was maybe put like double doors or like somehow a door between the garage and the barn,
Mm-hmm.
and keeping all like my nice tool, like my computer tools, like CNC,
Mm-hmm.
probably like the table saw, any really nice machinery in the garage because that's
Yep.
more airtight. And then the barn is more like work tables and storage,
Assembly and painting
and like yeah, like this would have been real handy back when I was mass producing like the cornhole boards.
Yeah.
But like this like places to lay things out and work on them.
So let me ask
I was
this.
kind of thinking about that. And materialist play, I already asked him. He does concrete too.
So the question I have is, would it be feasible if, depending on how much the concrete is, and obviously you can say yes or no, but like if the concrete is going to be like a $20,000 concrete pour because of how big the pole barn is, could you feasibly rent a Bobcat or something and dig out a little bit of the floor dirt and then essentially put in like a raised floor across 2x12s or something else so that
doing with the wood?
Yeah, doing it with the wood and putting, pilings down below so that it's sitting on something decent. Like you can pour footings of where it's all going to sit, but then you have a raised floor that you're working on constantly that you can change out stuff if need be.
Yeah, I consider that a little bit. Now that you're saying it, I wonder. So I'd done a floor like that. I built a shed in our Prestonwood, our last house, right,
Yeah.
to put all of our garage stuff in that
Mm-hmm.
shed, and I mean it's probably a 10 by 15 shed
Yeah.
maybe, and I came in with 2 by 8s because I actually had 2 by 8s. I probably would have done 2 by 6s, but
Yeah.
built a structure like that, and um, it it wasn't super watertight, and so that probably affected it. But like the floor, very quickly, we had the 3/4 plywood
Yeah.
on it. It very quickly became
Warped.
wavy,
Okay.
and I wonder on that. But I mean, I'm not above it. I maybe if I were able to build it stronger,
Yeah.
it feels like though we would definitely need to irrigate probably before we installed that because it gets really wet out here, at least lately,
Yeah.
with all this downpour.
So that was
I
going to
would
be
be
my
I would be
question.
concerned about it dying quick. And also on the concrete, yeah, if it's 20 grand, I'm gonna build for 20 grand, I'd build the most awesome structure, like metal structure utilizing the concrete pads we already have. I think I can do that with a kit for like 9 grand.
I was going to say, take a look because I know I get, ads all the time for pole barn kits or like metal structure kits, and they're
Mhm.
pretty inexpensive for what they are.
Right.
And you could put that up. I hate to say it, but like if you were to turn the pole barn into either extra garage or extra like an actual place to store the cars or something like that, that way you could keep the metal structure, pretty user friendly. But I think there's a way to do this pretty inexpensively and utilize what you already have. If you take a look
Yeah.
at the pole barn, I mean, replacing the roof, if you had to do that based on what you just paid for the garage, what do you think it would cost? Probably 2 grand worth of materials.
A little bit less. Yeah. I think I
Okay.
think I think we could do it. So they're giving me $3 a foot on this metal.
And
I
is
think I could
this
do it for like 1,200, maybe
is the pole
15.
barn just like one single pitch roof, or is there multiple stories to it?
There's a single pitch roof. It's pretty tall, and but yeah, it's one pitch. All the poles are still really good, and like
Okay.
there's 3 rows of poles going through it,
Okay.
and those are good. Most of the joists are good. I think the rafters are all right. We may need to replace a few of those, but I mean that's 1 by 4s, like, or 2 by 4s. Like that's not a big deal.
Well,
Um,
take a look
but yeah,
at
also on the concrete, I think we could do it for a lot less. Like from what I understand, anytime you build a structure, the pad is the most expensive part.
yeah. So utilize what you
And
already have, and then once
yeah,
you're running power to the garage, you already have it to connect up to the new building. Take a look at one of those kits because you can get basically a brand new building for you know pennies on the dollar, as it were.
right.
Um, yeah.
And I know Larry's done some concrete, so like he was telling me about like the final step, like the spreader, maybe you call
Hmm.
it, like where you make it smooth.
Yeah.
Like he's ran one of those before, and I don't know if this materialist place, if they're concretes, it may be like a 2 grand job or something.
Yeah.
Like to have like a good shop floor in there. Now
Yeah.
making it
Well.
airtight, I don't think so. We might be going with the big ass fans in there,
Yeah.
but um, yeah, no, it's exciting. Maybe we would, yeah, keep the barn doors then, and then just be able to open it up.
Yeah.
And yeah, and then yeah, so behind that structure too, as far as like storage for like future boats and whatever, there
Yeah.
is just a vertical top, and that one's all metal, and it was a newer build, and so
Okay.
that one's intact. So we still have a place to like a covered place to put equipment or
Okay.
outdoor equipment, but yeah.
All right. All
Yeah.
right.
Oh, and then last thing,
Okay.
yesterday on our main house here at Huffman has it's a metal roof as
Mm-hmm.
well, and I put a solar attic fan in,
Nice.
and yeah, my idea. So our house is built like a T, right? Like a
Okay.
capital T. And like the top right of this T is like master bedroom, top left is guest bedroom and baby room now. And then the length of the T is like laundry room. And then the bottom portion of that T is like there's like a giant living room and kitchen all kind of connected together.
Okay.
And I really like it, especially compared to Prestonwood. There's not like a lot of wasted space, you
Yeah.
know. There's not like a formal dining and all this like that we weren't using before.
Yeah.
But so my idea was I would put one oversized solar attic fan in the center, and it's going to pull. So each of the gables
Yeah.
have a vent on it, right? And then there's
Yeah.
also venting in the ridge and the soffits.
Have
However, I
you
think
noticed? Have you noticed since you put in the solar fan, is it pulling out more air? Like, is the temperature in your house staying cooler?
today's the first day.
Okay.
Um, and there is some more insulation I need to do in the attic as well.
Okay.
I
Just
got
blown
about half of
insulation?
it. Um, no, so we were doing the bats. So it was weird. I found, where I was putting those stories up of doing the insulation.
Yeah. You were
Um,
sweating like you were in church.
oh yeah, dude. Are you calling me a whore? Just kidding. No, the I guess when they had renovated this last, they just threw all the insulation in a corner of the
Okay.
T, like top left corner of the T. And so they had really good insulation, really thick batted insulation, but it was all just stacked up. It was never distributed back. And so I started at the top of the T coming in, redistributed all that batted insulation, but there's still a middle portion that's missing. And then the south side or the bottom of that T of the house was blown in, which I
Hmm.
think that is hurting our breathability. Like I think that blown in is clogging the soffit vents, right? Because
Oh.
the premise of
Yep.
the ridge and soffit, right? Like as the hot air rises, it comes out the ridge and it
Yeah.
feeds in, like new air feeds into the soffit, and so it's getting hotter than hell up there. But my idea was put one oversized solar fan in the center, and it's going to pull from like all the gables,
Yeah.
right? However, I think it might be too close to the top ridge, and so it's just making like a quick loop. And so
Ah.
my idea was 5 foot out each direction from the solar fan, kind of blocking the ridge vent, right?
Okay.
Whether it's with plywood or something, and so it's getting more pull, more suck.
Okay.
But yeah, today's the first day. But so the pitch of our house roof is a lot sharper, a lot steeper,
Okay.
and it's metal and hotter than heck. I tried to start in the morning. I did start in the morning, but it took me a long time. By the end of the day, I'm basically like rock climbing and installing this decently big fan. Like I think it's 25 by 25, like the base of it.
Wow.
And yeah, I did it all myself. Like cut all the metal, and uh, the last bit was the hardest. So I'm using like this silicone, like real
Yeah.
industrial. So I ended up going with Tight Bond. They made like a really good weather seal,
Okay.
and with my right foot, I accidentally stepped on some of the silicone, and so now
Ooh.
I lose all my grip with my right foot.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I didn't tell Crystal, but I lost myself twice, but I was able to like grab onto something,
Good Lord.
and yeah, it was in hindsight it was a little sketchier than I probably should have got, but I had to get this fan up. Like I'd cut a
Yeah.
hole in the roof.
Yeah.
Can't
You
just
got to
quit halfway.
Can't quit.
Like
No.
there's a hole. But yeah, I'm really excited. For the fan, seems like I went with a company, I went with Remington as the
Okay.
brand, and I bought it through Home Depot, but it's not like something to keep in store, right? So I
Yeah.
had
You
to
had
have
to
them
buy it
shipped.
online. Yeah.
And Remington, it seems like a really small company. I think they're out of Dallas. Like it includes the president's phone number, which
Huh.
I like in a signature, which I don't know if it goes, it probably goes to just like a customer service line, but there's a lot of things about it that seemed like it was like a small, like mom and pop kind of shop that like just
Hmm.
got in with Home Depot. But for the CFM, so it's 1550, like 1,550 CFM, 30 watts, and it's supposed to be rated for like 2,500 square feet.
Okay.
And I think we're sitting on 22 about. 100
Okay.
square feet, and so a little bit oversized, which I wanted. And yeah, right now it's purely solar. However, I think I want to add a the adapter to run power to it,
Yeah.
and then you can even hook up the Wi-Fi, and like we can make this thing run at night if we want, and just keep cool. And it's kind of a cool premise. Like anytime if it's 78 degrees or higher and it's getting power, it has power in its battery, it's going to be running. And
That's
but
awesome.
we'll see. I may still have to adjust those vents, like we're saying, and
Okay.
but yeah,
Okay.
man, it's one thing at a time. Oh, also, I got footage of it. It was kind of hard.
Yeah.
Luckily, Crystal had a magnetic phone holder, which made it good. I got some of those falls on tape, but
Nice.
yeah, it was. Oh man, yeah. Last thing on it. At one point, like the sun was out. Man, it got peak heat. I was just thankful it wasn't raining on me. But when I was putting the actual unit in, like I'm
Mm-hmm.
having to hold on to like the ridge with my left hand, trying to shove this thing in, and like I should have left more tolerance on the hole I'd cut for it, and then like my foot is hanging on like with my toes to a screw, and I'm trying to shove it in, and like I was tired to the point, exhausted to the point where I was like normally I would quit at this point, but it's like where you
Yeah.
can't quit.
Yep.
And like by the time I finally got it shoved in, like I was dizzy. I was like, I need to get on flat ground ASAP. And I just went into the kitchen inside, and Chris was like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "Yeah." Like I dropped my tool belt and just laid flat on the on the flooring. And yeah, it was really tough. Like I'm feeling it today.
Okay.
A little bit sore, but it was a cool challenge. In hindsight, I may have just not done it where I did it before, but or I don't know. I would have to really rethink it if I did it again, like in hindsight. So
Yeah. I mean, just safety wise, you should rethink it. Like,
yeah.
how?
Oh, what I want to do safety, I wanted to do a belay, like, and I should have just took the time and done it. I have the rope for it, but like run over the house and tie it to either a tree, or I think I would have done to one of like the pillars on our patio, and
Yeah.
then do a little harness around me, and then so I can just lean back on that, like it's pivoting over the ridge.
Absolutely.
In hindsight, that was the move, but
Okay. Well, hindsight's 2020, and as it sounds like you have plenty more roof work, so should be
yeah,
good to go with that.
yeah, man. What you got anything going on? Your
Yeah,
shop?
so I have well, there's two things. Number one, I signed a client, got a deposit and everything for a project I have to finish in September, but I
Ooh,
first have to, and it's for some custom jewelry cases for. We started talking about this last week, but it'll be a little bit before I jump into those because I'm trying to finish up the gaming coffee table for my brother and sister-in-law. I had started it a while back and then got flooded with projects that were paying me, and unfortunately, those took precedence. So
right.
now I want to make sure I get this thing done before another year passes. So I actually today finished up tidying up all of the joinery for the mortise and tenons around the entire piece, and it is all hand cut mortise and tenons all the way around. I did use
What
a
you
little
using?
white oak.
Oh, right.
Hmm. So I'm using the remainder of the white oak that I have to make this. Actually, you know what? The top is white oak. The body of it is red oak.
Okay.
So still beefy, but I initially had made it, and then I realized that I made it far too tall, and it wasn't going to work. So I had to recut half of the joinery. Got all that done. I actually took the time to not only make a jig for simplicity, but then I realized that I didn't have any bits that were the right depth to be able to use a guide bushing correctly. So
Hmm.
I ended up wasting time making the jig. But anyway, I realized I have like an edge guide that's super adjustable for my big ass Festool router, and I got to tell you, man, this the router that I have three routers, four. I have my original Porter cable that I got back in high school, and that thing is the one that lives in my router table. It's a tank. It never stops. It just keeps going. It's like having a Toyota. Like you put oil and gas in it, and it just goes.
Right on.
Um, I have a Bosch um, dual base plunging handheld router that it's not my backup, but it is my backup. I do have a Palm router that's a DeWalt, but I had been gifted for Christmas this Festool, and it is uh, I think it's a 3 horsepower motor.
Golly.
It is a beast. Like this thing is ridiculous. But when you start getting into how the ergonomics of how the machine works, the Germans have thought of everything on this. Like something as simple as like, okay, I need to put in a new bit. There's only one wrench and you hold a button and it like you can
Right.
ratchet stuff either way. And it's the same button. You just what direction you're holding. It's like having a ratchet screwdriver or a ratchet wrench versus having a non-ratcheting wrench and having to have two of them to like clamp everything down. For the adjustment on this adjustable depth or guide base, it's literally like most of the time, as you've seen for almost every router that there is, if there is a guide like attachment for it, there's like a screw for each of the posts that go in it, and you have to adjust each screw, and it takes you that much longer. This one has a single hand turn screw that adjusts and clamps down on both sides, and then you can keep that one tightened in, loosen up the base, and then there's a dial to get within like, I think it's a 64th of an inch on each turn, like partial
Yeah.
turn. So like you can super dial in everything perfectly and then plunge, do the guide, cut that you need, and then adjust. And I pounded through all the joinery. Like um, I had done the drill press to hog out the majority of the material with Forstner bits, but obviously just to clean up, making sure everything was, totally flush all the way around. All I had to do was come back with a chisel to clean up the corners, and I have perfectly cut joinery everywhere. And now I'm simply fitting the pieces I had made before, the actual truss, well, not trusses, the stretchers and rails for the table. Just making sure everything fits correctly. But it's just one of those things that as you're doing it, you're like, I really enjoy this process. I really enjoy getting back to not basics because it's beyond basic woodworking, but I really enjoy getting back to some of these like core fundamentals of woodworking that once you know how to do it, you don't want to stop doing it. So
you're saying you don't miss the Bondo?
I do not. No part. In fact,
we should make you some shirts and stickers that are like no Bondo.
I effing
Bondo,
hate Bondo. Yeah, Bondo, go home. So on that piece, obviously that customer had kept the tabletop, and I had to pick up the base. So I had it in my shop, and I was like, I don't know what I'm going to do with this. I went to move it to like a different part of my shop, and my dad happened to be in the shop that day, and he was looking around. He was like, you either need to throw that out today or you're going to move that damn thing around for like 4 years. And I was like, God, you're right. You're right. So the garbage man happened to be coming that day, and I wheeled it out there and asked the garbage man, I was like, this pains me to have to do it because of how many hours went into this, but can you just help me huck this thing in the back of your truck? He was like, yeah, not a problem. He took it right away. And I was like, well, that just saved me 4 years of moving it around for no reason. So
yeah, it's a shame, man. Man, throw it up on Facebook Marketplace or something. But
no, it was too ugly. So, so that part sucked, but it is what it is.
It's if anything, man, you learned a lot from it, man.
Yes, I did.
On all aspects.
Yes, I did.
If you ever have to do Bondo again, you're going to be a lot better at it than you were before this project.
Yeah. I hope I never have to do Bondo again. But there were all kinds of things that I learned on that project. But I'm excited because now the frame of this base for this coffee table is almost done, and from there it's it's a lot of like fill in the blank, getting the base up and together. The only thing I still have to do is cut out the insert, well, not the insert section, the part on all the upper rails where you'll be able to insert the gaming board holders or the piece holders
And like
that are
cup holders,
stored.
maybe too, or
Yeah, so like that kind of stuff, those will all be built in to the actual like attachment pieces. So somebody can use it for, nachos or cups or
that's gonna be so awesome.
whatever. But I
Are you filming
actually,
this?
so I haven't, I filmed part of it. I haven't filmed over the past couple of days. I really should have, but luckily it wasn't any different than the stuff I had done prior to that. So I'm going to start filming from here on out, but I also
Nice.
want to take the time over the next couple weeks to actually get the CNC working so that I can cut those pieces with the CNC.
That was my next question. Oh, that's
Yeah.
exciting. Hey,
So-
I'd love to help you draw that stuff up. Like,
So strangely enough, I plan on reaching out to you about exactly that.
Yeah.
But I wanted to extend my services to you about possible shop layout design,
yes.
because I've done some of that in SketchUp, and it saves you so much time of knowing where to put everything and how it all looks and like the flow of materials. It's so much easier to think of in like a small form than having to move stuff around 20 times.
Dude, I would love your thoughts on where stuff should go. I was
Send
also
me-
thinking of even like having our listeners, like if someone
Yeah.
wants to spend the time and send me a layout, like I started to measure everything so that I could have like basically do it like a chart, right? And
Yeah.
see what people think about it.
So do me a favor, and the listeners a favor for that matter. Can you measure your entire garage and do a layout to scale of how big everything is? Just send me the dimensions, even if it's a napkin drawing of like, these are where the garage doors are. This is this wall. This is how it all lays out. And then I would love to help you like put
Dude,
that together.
I would love that, man.
Because I
would
redid
really love
my
it.
shop layout recently, and I did it all in SketchUp, and it's helped out a ton, just for material flow and things like that. So,
Dude,
yeah.
I told you, I remember when I got humbled by SketchUp a
Mhm.
handful of episodes ago?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was I haven't got back on it since, but it
Okay.
wasn't as like intuitive as a thought, which I'm not sure what version I was using.
So
But,
I actually, on that note, I'm playing a concert on August 5th with some buddies of mine from high school, and we haven't played a show together in 20 plus years, and actually 14 years total, but we were all in different bands. So anyway, this is the group I get together with, and we just play through different albums, but we got asked to play live. And so I had to send an input list and a stage plot to the sound company so that they knew where to set up monitors and microphones and all that stuff. And I was like, man, all these programs kind of suck. So I went into SketchUp and I literally did.
Yeah.
And so I have this full like 3D rendering of what the stage setup looks like and where we need stuff and how it's all going to be. So yeah, I'm stoked. Like it was
Man.
super easy because it's just something it's a program that I know.
Well, yeah, you love SketchUp, man.
Yeah.
And okay, that's it. I need to go ahead and commit and learn SketchUp.
You should.
Yeah,
should.
just spend the time and figure it out.
Because once you learn it, it's one of those skills you can use for pretty much everything. Even
Right.
something as simple as like, hey, Crystal, I know you said you wanted to redo the kitchen and you've given me like 4 different ideas, but you're measuring by holding your hands out. Like that doesn't cut it. So let me actually do some drawings and see what this is going to look like.
Oh, exactly. I wonder, I'm sure it does. Does SketchUp spit out like SVG files or DXF files real easy?
Yeah, you can convert it to whatever you want. So like,
I mean, you could even draw these cup holders up in
Mhm.
SketchUp and then send it to your cut file. Or you use
Yep.
an easel for your CNC?
I have no idea. I'm not using anything yet.
Yeah, I suggest starting with easel. Well, maybe you could just go ahead and start with like a good. I don't think you need to go all the way to Vetric. I know that
No.
gets pretty expensive,
So when we
but
were at Workbench Con this past year, there was a computer setup that that I really wanted to get. I obviously don't have the funds for it as of yet. Let me see if I can pull it up here.
I know the software company there. If I ever do switch my CNC software, I want to go with them. It's cut carve Carveco Carveco. I think
Okay.
their stuff. It was a subscription, like a monthly subscription. May have started at like $10 a month.
So
But they got to do a lot of like the little features that I've been wanting to have.
this was the Masso controller.
Oh, that's right.
MA
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was attached to the big Onefinity
Onefinity.
CNC.
Yeah.
But seeing what that thing did was epic. So I
So
would love to.
on
Yeah.
that note, so I'm not a huge fan. Which I mean, I haven't messed with the Masso in like personally in my shop, and a lot of these big CNCs
Yeah.
are like the traditionally you like make your file, right, and you put it on a thumb drive and you plug that thumb drive in
Yeah.
to your controller. Like these like Carveco and Easel, it's all web based, right? And so
Connects
there's
right to your computer.
yeah, oh, like you're doing it from your computer, right?
Okay.
Or yeah, but yeah, the controller hooks right to your computer, and you're controlling the CNC on your laptop or your
Nice.
desktop, whatever you got right there.
Okay.
Which there's pros and cons each way.
Yeah.
I really like this. I don't have to worry about a thumb drive or like a file. Like I can go to my office and draw something up, edit it, and then it's immediately already in my same software. Like when I pull
Awesome.
it up on my desktop that's attached to the CNC.
Well, you and we're going to spend some time together then over the next few weeks as I
I'd be
get to
glad
that
to help,
point.
man.
So, but in lieu of Jess being here, I do have a little bit of history of woodworking because I've been using. So let's go through some stuff.
Yeah.
It's the of woodworking. All right. This week on the history of woodworking stuff, I wanted to talk about the joinery that I've been using quite a bit this week, and that is mortise and tenon joinery. I don't believe Jess has talked about this as of yet, and if he has, I apologize to the listeners out there.
No, I think we've dived into specifically that. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is, I mean, mortise and tenon joinery outside of the butt joint is probably one of the oldest woodworking techniques out there, and it goes back to cultures as far back as like 7,000 years ago. Essentially, if you're not familiar with it, if you're just joining us for the first time, welcome. But if basically you have one projecting tenon from a piece of wood, and then a reciprocating hole or recess, which is the mortise in the other piece of wood, and it creates an incredibly strong bond between the two pieces of wood, and you can have the tenon go all the way through that adjoining piece. It can be partially in there, but either way, it's a really, really strong joint. And if you can create mortise and tenon joints on every aspect of what you're making, it makes a really, really strong piece. So it goes back all the way to the Humuda culture in China and Neolithic settlements near Leipzig in Germany. So they were using timber joinery back then, and that was the type of joinery that they used. It was also utilized in ancient Egypt, and it's been seen on Khufu ship and other woodworking furniture pieces, and also in ancient Rome, where it was used in construction and in stonework. It is such a strong joint that the Greeks and Romans used it in shipbuilding. So did the ancient Phoenicians, and it is carried on across cultures all the way from medieval Europe. It has spread across the entire globe. In fact, every culture has really seen some aspect of the mortise and tenon joinery pretty much throughout its history. So it's one of the more universally used joints, but it's one of the strongest, which is how you have, showcases of 7,000-year-old joinery in China and in Germany that, it's just ridiculous. So craftsmanship nowadays, obviously you can cut it a lot faster than they probably could, but as Colton saw while cutting out some of the dovetails, sometimes doing it the old school way is a lot faster. And if that's the way you're used to doing it, you are pretty akin to how to do it correctly. And there's ways to improve upon the strength of that joint. You can do a wedged tenon, you can do a through tenon, you can do a spiked tenon, you can do, all kinds of different
I'm not familiar with
applications.
the spike tenon.
So think of, for instance, on top of like the handle of an axe, when the handle comes through the base of the axe or the head of the axe, there's not only the piece that is sticking out on top of the axe head, but they typically drill in a little bit and then they put in a wedge or a spike.
Yeah. Okay.
And
so the wedge, that's a spike tenon.
so the wedge tenons can be two different ways. You can either have it be perpendicular to the way that the tenon is running. So it's wedges on both sides. You can have it wedge like horizontally, going across the joint. You can go vertically with the joint. You can have it be a wedge tenon where the tenon is protruding through the other side of the mortise. And then you cut a hole in the actual tenon and use a wedge to like keep everything tight so you can remove that joint. There's all kinds of opportunities in there. But overall, it is exceptionally strong as far as the joint goes. It does allow for tons of wood movement because the pieces work together. It is a solid joint all the way through. There's rarely like cracks and crevices that come out of it because the pieces are so intertwined, and they stand the test of time as far as durability and endurance. So being that it's been used for thousands of years across pretty much every culture, it's definitely a joint that if you are not familiar with or not used to using on the regular, you should probably learn it because it's one of the woodworking basics. So that is your history of the mortise.
Anytime you secure two pieces of wood together without hardware, it just feels good.
Yeah.
Like it. Yeah. I enjoy it every time I get a chance to.
Absolutely. It's one of those that like once you learn how to do it, you're like, oh, I can go live in the wilderness.
Yeah,
could I grow my own food?
Cabin.
Yeah.
It makes you feel like a woodworker,
Probably
man.
Not.
Like I'm not a construction guy. I'm a woodworker. Like like whether.
But it's funny because like I see video, for instance, of two different drastically different examples. You see videos every now and then of somebody who's like, I went into the woods and I made this shelter out of logs, and they're using basically mortise and tenon joinery or pegged tenons or whatever it is. They're using some sort of basic joinery, but then there's other people who bring out like, oh yeah, I'm just using logs that I'm cutting from stuff that I found on the ground, but then they're bringing like 800 nails, and you're like, most people don't have that. That's not going to work. Or you look on the other example. To your point, I'm not a construction worker. I'm a woodworker. But you look at Japanese house joinery, and Japanese framers are still doing hand-cut joinery for their homes rather than they'll reinforce it with a bolt. But it'll take them, a month or two, maybe even longer, to basically pre-build the frame somewhere else. And then assembly time comes and they assemble the entire house in like 4 days. The entire frame goes up and then they sheet it all within a matter of days. And then they have finishing carpenters come in. But it's crazy. If you look up on Instagram or YouTube, Japanese timber framing or Japanese house building, even seeing the stuff that's modern of how they're doing it, they're still using like multi-hundred, if not 1,000-year-old techniques to put these houses together, and they stand the test of time, no matter how many earthquakes or everything else. So,
you know what? Yeah. So we've had like 4 or 5 weddings we've gone to this year.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And usually they're like in some sort of chapel.
That
And they
happens
love
for weddings.
these places love to have these big exposed beams, like for
Mm-hmm.
like the whole chapel
Yep.
or the ceremony
Yep.
area. And like, especially if the ceremony starts going on long, I love to look up and my first thing I see is like, is that the actual beam that we're
Or,
looking at?
yeah. Or is that an
And sometimes
LVL
it
or is
is.
that a veneer?
Yeah, right. And is that something around it or just like a encasing they built around? And a lot of them have been real wood, and the joinery on that it's just amazing. Like
Mm-hmm.
that's still humbling. Most everything I feel like, oh, I could do that. Just give me a day to learn it and I'll figure it out. Like that joining like giant logs together, or not
Yep.
logs, beams at that
Yeah.
point, that still is humbling and all.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. It's definitely one of those things that gives you a true appreciation of craftsmanship. So,
right. Have you seen the videos of that one guy? I don't know his name. I should have looked it up. But he's doing like cathedrals and stuff like that, these logs and doing all the joinery. But he's got like a chisel. It's got to be 3 or 4 inches wide, like if not more. And
so,
like the final shave before he connects it together, it's
so
incredible.
those are called a timber framing slick. So that
Slick.
is, yeah. So that is a massive timber framing chisel, and the idea behind that is you can get your body weight behind it to cut along a large
Mm,
span. Because a lot of times the handheld planes just they're too small to span the full width of the beam. So you get this slick, and you can keep it on your tool belt or whatever else, and then cut that joinery perfectly. So
nice.
yeah. So with Jess not being here, I unfortunately do not have any kind of trivia to go along with this, and I apologize for that. But I do have a whiskey of the week to jump in
Oh,
if you're down for that.
let's get it.
Showtime! Woo, 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 woo. The whiskey of the week. For the whiskey of the week this week, I actually wanted to dive into doing a formal tasting here because
Oh,
so many times I have given some history, I've given a little bit of education, but Colton has actually been the one doing all the tasting,
yeah.
and I felt like I should join in on the fun. So,
I love
uh,
that. Yeah. What do you
so
got?
to,
What do you
so
got?
today I'm doing the Old Bardstown um, Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey. It is a sour mash bourbon. It is made at the Willett Distillery and in Bardstown, Kentucky. So this is one, if you are familiar with the brand Willett, a lot of people who are your bourbon connoisseurs hail them as one of the top distilleries out there. And this is a product that comes out at 101 proof, but it is a sour mash style. So I poured a little bit earlier. I've given it some time to mellow out. It is definitely coming in. The sour mash is pretty prevalent. It's not like aggressively sour, like it's turned or turnt, uh, but you are getting some of those sour notes. And it has a lot of honey and a little bit of caramel, but like not a lot of sweetness to it. And the interesting thing I found about this, it's definitely got like number one, a ton of barley. And I don't know what the mash bill is on here. It doesn't break it down overall. But what I did find with this is the barley content came out super hard in the aftertaste or the finish. It does not drink at its proof at all. It comes in at 101 proof, but it drinks somewhere in the 86 to 90 proof. It's definitely something you could just sip on. You get a little bit of that Superman effect as it goes down. You get that warming in the center of your chest, and you feel invincible, like you should,
Oh, I
pull your
like that. I've
shirt
never
open
heard the
like
Superman
Superman.
effect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that regard is pretty good. But being that I've left this out for a little bit now, as it's oxidized, it's definitely taken on a little bit more of that musty kind of sour mash flavor, if you will. And most sour mashes are not this aggressive. But so this one to me, for the price, it's good. Is it worth the hype or trying to find this super rare bottle? In my book, probably not.
Oh,
It's good. If somebody handed me a glass and we were sitting around drinking, I'd happily drink it. We'd have
how
a
much
great
is it for a
conversation.
fifth?
Let me double check on that because the pricing changed since I bought it.
Here, also, while you're looking that up, so sour mash, that's like Jack Daniels is a sour mash.
Yes. So this is anywhere from 34 to 39 or $40. It's nothing too wild and crazy. For that price point, it's good. There are other ones I would pick in the same price point. I can appreciate a good sour mash. What I don't like about a lot of sour mashes, whether it's Jack Daniels or this guy, or there's a myriad of other ones out there. But what I typically don't like is it's very one-trick pony as far as the flavor profile. This is one that has a little bit more depth. There's a little bit more going on, but I'm really only tasting 2 or 3 main items. I'm getting the honey on the nose. You get a little bit of caramel on the nose, but you get that graininess that's popping out on the palate. You get hit with a little bit of sweetness, and I mean like a little bit at the very beginning, and then it finishes with like that barley tone, and then it transforms right into that bitter sour mash aftertaste. So, is it, as I said, if somebody handed me a glass and I wasn't paying for it, I'd happily drink it. It's a very smooth whiskey, but there are other ones I'd pick over this one. So,
right on.
That is your whiskey of the week.
Woo! Is there a sour mash that you would pick over that sour mash?
Yes.
I guess I haven't really dove into sour mash that much. All I know is that I'm not a huge fan of Jack. I mean,
no, Jack.
I like
to me,
it. I like it in a mixed drink, but
the charcoal filtration on Jack just does me in. Like I can't really get past that. It's too aggressive. It overtakes everything. It's
for me, for what, how everyone has like that one liquor that they had a bad night on and they can't drink it again. Like some people are like, no, Goldschlager, I can't even look at it. Fireball or like tequila. You didn't say that was tequila, Jack Daniels was that for me for a long time.
Okay.
Like anytime I took a pull straight from the bottle on it, like I would have to prepare myself to not gag. Yeah. And but I mean I've come around now. But yeah, I've just never preferred it. And I always thought that maybe I just don't like sour mashes. But what you're saying is
so
maybe
strangely enough,
Jack.
If you're looking for, there are 2 examples I can give you. One lower end, one higher end. George Dickel, especially if you can find the bottled and bond George Dickel.
We've had that on here, yeah.
Yeah, it's actually pretty good for what it is.
That's a sour mash?
It is.
I forgot.
Yeah, that is a Tennessee style sour mash whiskey. It's a really clean. It just doesn't have that charcoal filtration. That's what gets most people in Jack. I know I work for the company, but Old Elk sour mash, it's fairly expensive as far as sour mashes go. It's about $80, but it comes at you like a 2-round fight with Mike Tyson. It literally, it hits you with everything it's got right up front, and then it's gone from your palate. It's lights out. So that one is if you're looking for one to really challenge you, that's where I'd go. If you're looking for just a simple everyday, either the George Dickel or the Henry McKenna sour mash is pretty solid. So
nice. Oh, that's small note real quick on the George Dickel.
Yeah.
They make a Tabasco one.
They do.
I think it was finished in a Tabasco barrel, and I bought it. It was cheap, like 30 or less.
Can't imagine.
For a fifth. And I bought it as like a joke. I'm like, I was going to like a weekend with my buddies, right?
Yeah.
And it was gonna be a joke, and then I ended up like really liking it. I'm like, it's good, like especially for campfire sitting. It was not like a fireball or anything like that. It was pretty good.
Okay. So yeah, that's the whiskey of the week talk. So I
Right
think
on.
it is time that we jump into a snugget.
Nuggets!
And snuggets!
There's Jess. He made it on.
He
There we
made
go.
it on. Jess, we miss you, buddy. Do you have a nugget you want to share?
Yes, I'm looking up the name of it right now just to make sure. Okay. So those Milwaukee gloves,
Yeah.
right? Like, so they're skin tight
Yep.
and they are dipped, nitrile dipped.
Yep.
Right. So they also have different cut levels on them.
Okay.
Right. Like it's referring to
The thickness of that dip.
Yeah, or I think on the back of it too, maybe like the material, just like how much cut resistance it has.
Okay.
Which for working with metal, I should have had stronger gloves. I only had cut level 1 on mine, and I actually can't speak to the other cut levels. I assume they would be less breathable, maybe.
Yeah.
But these gloves are awesome. Like I sweat a lot, especially here in Houston, Texas, where it's hot and humid. It I'm sweating, and like the sweat, it goes through these gloves, kind of like a Under Armour material, right? Like, I mean, the gloves are soaked when I'm done if I'm real hot, but yeah, the palms stay great. Especially working on the roof, I was able to go. Also, they're touch, like I can run my phone like with the gloves on.
Nice.
And yeah, I threw them in the wash. I do think it lost some of that nitrile in the washing machine. I didn't dry them, like put them to the dryer, but in hindsight, I might have hand washed them if I did it again. But yeah, that's my nugget is, so I think they came in a 3-pack too, but those gloves really helped me out, not fall off the roof. So
nice. So for me, I've been actually taking care of a lot of honeydew list things over the past couple weeks. We had to get a new fridge because ours stopped working one night. It was a whole thing. And trying to wire run the water line for the fridge. I've never done that before. I'm still having issues with it because the pressure is too high and it keeps trying to shoot out the water line from the connection. So it's a whole thing. But I haven't had as much time in the shop. But what I can say is take a look at least once, if not twice a year, at your shop and look at all the places where you have random scraps stored and they're taking up space and you got to move around them constantly. One of the things that I did after I brought home that stupid table base, and I was like, this is just going to get in the way. I looked around my shop and I said, what else is going to get in the way that I haven't used in a while? And I had, God knows, probably 40 boards worth of, well, at least cutoffs worth of 2 to 2.5 inch strips of plywood, 3/4 inch. And a lot of white oak, just random pieces that still had some live edge on there. And I was like, I can still use part of this. It's been sitting for 2 years or longer. And I'm like, it's just taking up space. And I fall around it. I move stuff, like I run into it. This is stupid. And so I took the time. I got some extra bins at Home Depot or Lowe's, whatever. And they were like $8 per bin. And I filled up 4 bins full of firewood. And I have some friends that, neighbors, friends that they have an outdoor fire pit. I have one as well, but we're not having fires, every night. We're not trying to heat our house.
Especially not in the summer.
Exactly. Yeah. So I was like, what am I going to do with these? So basically I've gifted some of these totes of firewood out to friends. And so more than anything else, take the time to walk in your shop, and Colton, you'll have to do a lot of this as you move your shop from one to the other. I know as men and as woodworkers, we typically want to hold on to every scrap because we'll be able to use it at some point. If you haven't used
potential.
If you haven't used it in at least a year, if not 2, it's time to go. And it's something that you need to do to just declutter your shop. And once you free up that space, like my workbench is now actually clear for the first time in a year and a half of all obstructions to where I can use the entire workbench. I have found myself doing more work on the workbench and joinery and actual woodworking things in the last week than I have in probably 2 years prior to that, because everything was kind of like, that was like a dumping ground. Oh, I'll put it here and I'll come back to it. And there was a little cutout, like 2x3 space on there or 1x3 space that I was like, I'm going to work in this space. No, I just had crap everywhere. It was time to purge and take the time to do it, because it makes you feel so much better in the end.
Hell
and
yeah.
I was able to gift some things to some friends. They were all excited about it because now they don't have to burn everything quickly. They have it in these totes. And I was only out like $24. So, yeah.
That's awesome. Dude, giving it to friends was a great idea. And I was also, I was going to echo for the firewood thing. Like, I know we had like a little chimney in the back at Prestonwood. And yeah, it made it really easy to let go of scraps when they were still being used, right, as firewood. And it makes you feel less guilty for not being a hoarder, taking
absolutely.
It out.
So take the time to declutter your life, because a decluttered life makes it so much easier to just be efficient and effective and just less stressed. So if every time you walk in your shop, it's total chaos and you're like, I don't even want to work in here, you're not going to do anything. So,
yeah. Oh, Braden was selling, Daniel Dunlap's cutoffs.
Yeah.
Like it was like random box, I think for like $20 or something. I can't remember the price. There's a website. It's like Daniel's cutoffs or something, or scrapwood or something. There was a pun with it. Dang it. I can't remember it right now, but
nice.
Yeah.
All right.
For the pen turners. Yeah.
Is there anything else you want to cover off on?
That's me. Oh, we got some good stuff coming up. I don't know if we want to talk about it.
Absolutely. Well, let's hold off until Jess is back, but there's some good stuff coming for everybody. A little bit more activity for everybody out there. And we have some interviews lined up as well. So some good things coming your way. And to Jess, we hope everything is going well. We hope you're able to crush the projects that are keeping you up and away from home at night. So
get her done, brother.
Get her done. So with that in mind, to all you listeners out there, be sure to hit that like and subscribe button wherever you're listening to this podcast. And thank you very much for tuning in this week. We hope you enjoyed every second of this episode. If you didn't, please send all your complaints to our Armenian legal representation at Serge & Associates Law Partners, where their last arraignment started off by screaming, "Wake up! Grab a bunch of people, little makeup!" It was a really aggressive for 8:30 a.m. And for Jess, Colton, and Ross, this has been the Beat Around the Bench podcast, and we will catch you all next time.